from Bluefin. Welcome to our live stream. We've been celebrating May the 4th all week long with our Destination Galactic digital event. Here we have awesome deals on bundles for Star Wars model kits, Camacho figures. Check it out at bluefinbrands.com. Joining us today is Leo Camacho, Mr. Leo Zombie himself. How the heck are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about Star Wars because I'm always excited about Star Wars.
Nice. I noticed. I actually read an article the other day about now that high fives and handshaking are out, that the smoking guns, the finger guns are back in. Yeah.
I felt like a jerk for doing that, and I was going for blasters like pew pew pew, but I'm glad it's on trend.
Nope, it's 100% a-okay and acceptable at this point. Yeah. So cool, man. I see that you jump back and forth between New York and LA.
I do, yeah.
Is there one that you prefer over the other, or do you love them both equally?
Well, I mean, I'm from LA. That'll always sort of be my home, so that's where my heart is. But I have fallen in love with New York. I've only been living there sporadically through last year, but now I'll kind of be making that more of a, well, the idea is to make it my home, but the COVID has other plans, apparently. Right. But I do like it. I'm just new to it, so I can't like claim I'm like, New York hard. I don't have that in me yet, but but I do love it. I think it's an awesome city. It's very like electric all the time.
No, totally. We get to visit a couple times a year, and every time we do, it's always a magical experience. The buildings themselves are even just like inspirational.
It just feels like you're in like a fantasy world, especially if you're not from a big city. Because it just looks surreal. Like the buildings, as far as the eye can see, you're always in the shadow of buildings. The way the sounds echo through them, the hordes of people. It's just like it truly is like being on Coruscant. Hey, Star Wars reference.
There you go. No, that's great. Speaking of Star Wars, when did your love for Star Wars begin?
Oh man, it's so funny. I was just thinking about this. I didn't know if you would ask me that, but I was thinking like, when did it start for me? When I was a kid, it was I don't know what the official name of the box set is, but I call it the farting box set. It was like the one where they came in either gold or silver, and then when you slid the VHS in it, the box farted. It went like every time you slid it in. I borrowed, actually, you know what? It was the set before that. That was the first set that I bought. But the set before that, where it had the Stormtrooper's face, Yoda's face,
and Vader's face.
I borrowed it from my neighbors. So I don't know. I was in like 6th grade or something like that. I remember seeing it on in the house, like whenever it came on, my family would always watch it, like when it was on USA or whatever. And I remember I was running outside one day, like to go play, and the TV was playing Return of the Jedi, and they were on the scene where Luke was fighting the Rancor. And I remember like bolting outside and stopping dead in my tracks and being like, what is this? That's a monster. And like from that moment, it was just like, it hypnotized me. And once I was able to get my hand on the full copy, I was instantly in love.
No, totally. I feel like Return of the Jedi for me too was kind of that thing where when he turned on his green lightsaber for the first time, and you're like, what? It could be green?
No way. And it's so funny. Like, it's like, well, we just needed something that you could see in the desert. But as a kid, we're like, it comes in every color.
Yeah, totally. No.
Yeah, man. And it's funny when you're like a kid, Return of the Jedi is the best because it's got like the monster and the Ewoks and the green lights. But like as an adult, you're like, no, I'm sophisticated now. Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Shame on you. I know when I was a little kid, I remember being so sad about them just losing every step of the journey in Empire Strikes Back. You're like, dude, when are the heroes going to win already?
They don't always win. The worst. I liked it because it was like the bad guys. Like, I feel like movies never let the bad guys win.
Sure.
And I was stoked about that. I'm like, finally, the bad guys do something in a movie. And I don't know, I always loved that.
They're relentless in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
No, that's
waiting
great.
For you outside the trash.
Do you remember having a bunch of Star Wars toys when you were a kid?
Yeah, actually, my neighbor had more than I did. He had like the whole collection. So I was always more of like an X-Men Ninja Turtle toy guy.
Sure.
But my neighbor had the entire Star Wars collection, which eventually he just left them at my house, so they eventually became my collection.
That's great.
But it was like every toy, every variation of every character, every droid. We even had like the Ronto and the Rancor, like the bigger models, you know. So yeah, no, I even had the first like the expanding lightsaber because I wanted Luke's lightsaber.
Ones.
Yeah, the telescoping ones. I remember those came out when George Lucas finally got the rights back and did the special edition, and that's when we got the first lightsaber toys. And I beelined it to Target, man. I got that green lightsaber. I thought it was so cool.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely.
did your friend leave them, or did he leave them?
Leave them. I plead the fifth. No, just kidding. No, he just left. He just because we used to. So when I was a kid, we used to set up a camcorder, and then we build a little set, like a talk show set, and then we would like you could see our hands. That was part of the humor. But with our hands, we would bring the characters in, and then have a talk show. And the host was Old Man Anakin Skywalker, like that figure. You know, like the ghost version,
Sure.
but not a ghost. Like they released a toy like that where he was wearing the Jedi robes, and he was the host, and he would interview all the other figures and stuff like that. And since we did that so often because we had no lives, we just left them at my house. So it was sort of like they became my toys. And I remember, and I went to I went to private school, and one of my assignments was we had to, using any media that we saw fit, we had to recreate a book of the Bible. And so my team got assigned the book of Job, which is nice because it's kind of a short book. And we did it word for word. We did the entire book of Job, but represented only by Star Wars action figures. So like, like Job was Han Solo, the devil was Emperor Palpatine, God was the Yoda Furby toy that they had, the Behemoth and the Leviathan were the Rancor and the Ronto. And then when they go, there's a part where like they confront Job, and they're like, "Why are you doing this for God?" And every friend that confronts him is like Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, and they're in a cantina. It was like I almost got expelled for blasphemy, but it was worth it, man.
That's great. on the talk show, was there any like Jerry kind of fights going on?
No, it was more like Jay Leno.
Oh, okay,
like it was
perfect.
like, I'm Anakin Skywalker, and today on the show, and he'd have like a little monologue at the beginning, like,
oh, that's great.
Like, oh, look at this guy, he's a droid. I don't know. It was just like super. And then like he would also interview other figures that we had. So like, you know, he would interview like Cyclops, the one where you push the button and the eyes light up, and that was how Cyclops spoke, was just by.
Nowadays you could even have like a Maury Povich show too, where it's like Darth Vader is the father.
Yeah, it's so funny now because then like Robot Chicken ended up coming out, and I was like, that's my idea.
I know, right? That's so great.
I could have been a millionaire.
They have some pretty dicey skits on that show, man.
Yeah, how do they get away with?
I don't know. There's some scary ones on there. Do you still have any of those toys today? Are you collecting any Star Wars?
Yeah, I still have those exact same toys. They're in storage, but I know exactly where they are. I still keep all those. As far as like stuff now, I feel like I don't really get stuff. Actually, you know, I can show you one thing I have right here on my wall. So, right back here behind. Oh, did I lose connection?
Yeah, you broke
Hold
it.
on. It's because I moved it away from my peripheral thing. Oh God, that's what I get. I'll get back in. Hold on. I blew it, guys. The interview's over. He's never coming back on the live stream ever again.
Driving through a tunnel right now.
Yeah, now
His camera's not fully operational yet.
Oh man, how do you go to like the settings? Because now I'm like not touching it and it won't come back.
You should have like a little cam thing, and then you can click that button, and then
Oh, start cam. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, it's a little slow.
Okay. There we go.
So if you look back there, you can kind of see it behind that lamp. There's like a tauntaun. You see that?
Sure. Yeah.
So that is one of the original posters from Star Tours from Disneyland in 1985. That's like one of the posters that they had on display there.
Yeah, like when you're leaving the ride and it's in like the hallway and stuff. Yeah.
But that's like my vintage like little collector's piece. So if it's stuff like that where it's a little bit more meaningful or a little bit more hard to come by, there's like a story behind it. That's the kind of stuff I get now. I don't really do like an overabundance of figures unless they're, you know, really particularly cool ones.
Right.
Just because like I don't have the space, man. Where do you put where do you put everything? Eventually you just run out of room.
Yeah, you need nice little cabinets like Mr. Clark has behind him.
Yeah, see, he's smart. I'm not smart like that.
Organized. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, once you move though, you're like, do I really need this stuff? Then you start giving everything away. That's the key. Is you have to move. Once you move, then it's so liberating to just get rid of everything.
No, when I die, this stuff is coming with me.
Like, you're like a pharaoh.
A pharaoh, yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, but my girlfriend's not like nerdy like whatsoever. She's like cool and then like a fashionista, like all that stuff. So and I'm like, hey babe, can we like put up my Star Killer lightsaber on display? She's like, no, we can never do that ever. You know,
it'll really tie the room together. Though.
Yeah, she does like the Hoth one because it's like historical and it's like a nice piece of art. Right. But she's like, you get one.
Right. And you guys are both Disney nuts too. right? So
Yeah,
that
we
kinda
both really
helps.
like Disney a lot. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice. It has like a Disney hidden touch.
Right. No, that's great. Sure. So we're gonna play a fun little Star Wars game. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Uh-oh.
First one's kind of a thinker.
Okay.
You win the Millennium Falcon in a high stakes game of sabacc,
As you
and
do.
you're taking it out for your maiden flight. And who in your life is your co-pilot? And then what is playing on the radio? What are you rocking out to? And then most importantly, what are your road trip snacks?
Okay. Well, the correct answer is my girlfriend.
Okay. Good man. Good man.
Is
But,
she off camera somewhere looking at you?
No, she just left the room. But you never know, man. The internet's they talk a lot on the internet.
Sure.
No, it would probably be my best friend who's also a Star Wars fan,
Sure.
right? Like, you know,
You can have a whole crew. You
pretty
can
mature.
have your
I can have a
girlfriend
crew?
and the friend, yeah,
Okay.
and any household animals that you have too. If you have a
Okay,
dog,
okay.
cat,
So
whatever.
my best friend would be like my Chewbacca because he's tall and has long hair. My girlfriend would be like the Leia because she's gonna go begrudgingly. I would take, I think that maybe like another friend who's like strong, just in case. You never know.
For the bar fights.
Yeah, just for the bar fights, intergalactic
Mix it
bar
up.
fights.
Sure.
And I would put on something like retro synthwave, just something cool to cruise to, like with sunglasses where like street lights are going over in the
Sure.
reflection.
No, that'd be
Something
great.
cool like that, just chill, or maybe some like Travis Scott, like some hip hop, just playing in the
Sure.
back, so I can roll down the Millennium Falcon window and it just look at people.
Just don't do that in space. You'll have a problem. Wait till you're close to docking, and then
Yeah.
what are your road trip snacks? What are you
Oh,
guys
man.
munching on?
Well, I mean, I got a spaceship. I can go anywhere, right? I'm
It's true.
going to Coruscant, Naboo. I'm going to Alderaan. Oh wait, whoops.
No.
Hey.
Get one of those moon rocks they're talking about.
Yeah, man, I would do those spots. You know, what are cool planets in the Star Wars universe? Because I feel like, in terms of like tourist destinations, there's not. You know, they all kind of remote. Like Tatooine's
Yeah.
boring and it's just a desert, and Hoth, no way, it's all icy. Dagobah, God forbid. Like the only place,
Yeah.
like Naboo and Coruscant are the only places that offer anything for tourists, really.
Sure. And if
Yeah.
it's too foresty, there might be crazy monsters. You get mosquito
Yeah.
bites, whatever.
Corellia is just a factory planet. It's not fun.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
And
They
then
probably have force-powered murder hornets.
right.
Yeah, there's probably a planet of just maybe that casino planet.
There you
with
go.
the camels from
Now you're talking.
Rise of Scott or whatever it is. Return of Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. Yeah.
The
yeah,
new
yeah.
trilogy, man.
Totally. And then okay, we're gonna do a lightning round.
Okay,
All right. Are you ready? First thing
All
that
right.
pops in your head, kind of like a Rorschach test, as it were.
here we go.
All right. So Jedi or Sith?
Gray.
What? You're one of those. Okay. All right.
Kyle Katarn.
Who's your favorite Jedi?
Who's my favorite Jedi? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Nice. Favorite Sith?
Darth Maul.
Perfect. Your favorite Star Wars vehicle?
Oh, that would. My favorite Star Wars vehicle. Oh, the Outrunner from Shadows of the Empire.
Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
good. Death sticks or blue milk? Gotta choose, man.
Death sticks, man.
There you
All
go.
the wrong choices.
The Tony Montana of the galaxy. Here we go.
Uh,
Special editions or theatrical releases?
theatrical releases.
Person you would most like to marry from Star Wars?
Oh, Ayla Secura.
Oh,
She's the blue Twi'lek
yeah,
Jedi.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She doesn't end too well for her.
Well, I would have saved it from that. Day,
There you go.
but too late.
Person you would most like to kill from Star Wars?
Who's the worst? Man, I mean, I'm not even gonna say Jar
It's your
Jar.
world, baby.
It's
We're
not
just
even-
living it.
I'm not even gonna go there. Who would I kill most?
I mean, the Emperor's
I
pretty
know it's a
bad,
lightning
dude.
round, but when you're given this opportunity, you don't squander it. You got to
Sure.
pick the right person.
You can't kill the Emperor because he'll just hop into your body. We've learned this now.
Yeah,
how it
dude. No, and you can't kill the Emperor clearly. Like, it's impossible to kill him. If I could kill one person, oh, dude, ugh. I'll come back to it. We'll come back to
Okay.
it later.
That's all right. You're gray. It's not in your nature anyway. That's fine. What's your favorite scene from any Star Wars film?
Whoa, you know what? I don't think I've ever thought about that. My favorite scene from any Star Wars film. Okay, so let's do this. I think my favorite fight scene is Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. My favorite, like, poignant scene might be... I actually really like in Empire Strikes Back the entire. You know what? Let's replace it. The entire scene where Luke finally confronts Vader on Cloud City, and they go through the entire fight, and they go into the chamber where they froze Han Solo, leading out into that little like I'm your father
catwalk.
scene.
Yeah.
That whole scene to me, like that whole moment. I don't know. I feel like that's one of the strongest moments in Star Wars. I feel like the entire trilogy, the entire series as a whole, is kind of carried on Empire. And that scene is sort of the linchpin of it all because it's raw, it's emotional. It's Luke thinking that he's got what it takes and then realizing that he's far from it. It's one of the biggest twists in movie history. You know, it's a very intense, emotional lightsaber fight. And visually, like when they're fighting in that chamber with the red lights and it's like, and they all like start lighting up. I mean,
Vader's all one-handed fighting Luke.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sad.
He's
It's like, hey, it's cute. You got yourself a lightsaber, dude.
Oh, 2 hands. I remember those days. You know, like
back in the day when I had both of them.
Yeah. I was reading this article yesterday because I have no life about like what would it be like if Darth Vader was never mutilated and had full because being in the suit that he's in, he's been cut off from the Force.
Right.
Can still force choke somebody from across the galaxy with 3% of his natural body. Imagine if he never would have been cut off. Like
he could have like the lightning abilities and all that.
He would be able to
stuff.
use lightning. He would be able to he would be able to do the Star Killer thing and bring down like a
Star Destroyer.
Have you read any of the comics? Any of the Vader comics?
No,
like, some of the stuff he does in that, like there's a scene where he's surrounded by rebels, and they're all they're all shooting at him, and he's able to take the pin out of every rebel's grenade at the same time on their hip, and they just all die. And I'm like, and this is you with like 1% of your true power.
Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying like if he had access to his full power, he would have killed Palpatine like way earlier, and potentially would have brought peace to the galaxy. Because the only reason it was corrupt was because of Palpatine. Like ultimately, Anakin wanted to do good, but he was following the teachings of an evil man.
Fair,
sure.
He did bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
When Anakin was done, there were no more Jedi being corrupt and kind of losing their way, and there were definitely no more Sith.
Right.
True, in a way, he did bring balance and to the age demographics of younglings. You know, just
right.
Balance didn't mean what the Jedi thought it meant.
Right. this isn't yoga class. This is Star Wars. Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like that thing where they're saying Sith steal in absolutes, but they never really thought to think that their definition of the prophecy was absolute. You know, it's fun to go back and
absolutes is also an absolute.
It is an absolute of itself.
Come on, Yoda, get good.
Right. I always thought if I was a Jedi fighting Darth Vader, I would like force push his chest buttons and just kind of make him go haywire a little bit. I thought that'd be fun. Like, which one's the off switch? Let's just push them all really fast.
Oh, sorry, I gotta be a super nerd. I think it's in the comics. He's been shown he can survive for hours without the suit being functional.
Oh. He's just in constant pain.
So you would just really, really tick him off.
Yeah, it's like putting a hose on a beehive. You're just asking for trouble.
Right.
So lightning round's almost over.
All right, what else we got?
Mr. Camacho. We have, what is the saddest Order 66 on-screen death?
I mean, I just said my wife. Hey, listen,
right? That was sad.
I think the weakest one is what's the name? Plo
Koon? Yeah.
It's like, oh man, he didn't even die cool. He just like
it's in a ship.
His ship. Yeah, that was pretty
bad.
And also, but I think like what's his name? Kia Di Mundi. Like
that was brutal though.
Kind of splashes over. It was kind of
like, that's like old Hollywood death scene.
I know. Yeah, it was tragic.
That's cool. Now, what color would your lightsaber be? It could be any color.
It would
blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like. I've got, I went through that phase where I liked every single color, and anytime I've ever done any sort of like fan Star Wars project, I'm always the bad guy, so I always have a red lightsaber, which is my favorite color. But I feel like at the end of the day, after going through all the colors and all the fandom and having all the options in the world, I just think blue is the sexiest lightsaber, man.
There you go.
It just looks good, Plus Obi-Wan, I stand.
Right. What about you, Clark? What color would you go with?
Oh, the dark saber. Black.
There you go. That's a good one.
There's only one of it. Like, that's the coolest color, It's like black, the way outlined. Perfect.
Mine would be orange, and I'd just be running around at night like I'm jogging to be safe, and it would be amazing. I'd be like, check out my glorious lightsaber. How cool is this? It's orange.
If you get two of them, you can like land ships.
Right. It'd be great.
Do you remember when? Well, do you remember when Jedi Power Battles came out for the PS1, and they gave Plo actually had they called it amber because it wasn't yellow or orange, and then Adi Gala had a red lightsaber, and it was like this sort of because at the time there was nothing beyond. It was like sort of their first steps of expanding beyond the
right, what they mean and everything.
Yeah, they were like, Jedi's can have red lightsabers, and like amber exists, and then George Lucas was like, no, that's impossible.
Yeah.
And then Disney was like, no, it's possible. Everybody gets whatever color they want.
Right. I remember in old Knights of the Republic when Bastila had like a yellow double-bladed lightsaber. I thought that was pretty cool too. I was like, what? Yellow?
I remember watching like the whole. I was really into the Force.net, like all of the facts.
Sure.
And I would love seeing what colors people chose for their like lightsabers, or like what style saber they would give themselves in these fan films. I don't know. It was always neat to see that originality, and I always thought it was cool that the color of a lightsaber is like kind of your way of expressing yourself in the Star Wars universe. Like Jackson, he kind of set the bar there,
I think my first like Star Wars like fan film thing was a show called Troops, and it was like the mock-up of cops and everything, and they're visiting and what was it, like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and it's like a domestic dispute, and like what are we gonna do here?
There were so many good ones back in the day, and obviously fan films are like on a whole other level, like that Darth Maul. But dude, they're crazy.
So creative,
But in the beginning, it was just fun that's like how I even learned Premiere. I have one up there from when I was like 18 years old called Duel of the Dudes. Where I went to the golf course and we followed PVC pipes, but it taught me how to rotoscope and how to do lightsaber effects and like edit in Premiere. And there's like this, potato quality video of me out there fighting my friends in a golf course. So
that's great.
That's where I think Star Wars fans really bond too, is in like those cheapy moments.
Sure. And you really feel that energy too, like when you go see a new Star Wars movie. Whether at the end of the day, whether you end up liking it or not, when you first get into the theater and the lights go down, you feel that energy. The music comes on, the crawl kicks in, and like everyone's just—it's a magical moment. And it's almost like your first watch doesn't even really count because you're probably gonna like it anyway because the energy is just like so positive and so amazing. Yeah. You got to watch it again to critique it and have whatever problems you have.
You got to watch it twice. The first time is just a hype run. Like you're just there, part of that experience with everybody else. I remember when episode 1 came out and I went to go see it, our geometry teacher let us leave the classroom to call the theater when they went.
So pre-order tickets?
I had to do that, call on the phone. But like we ordered, and 19 of us from my high school went together to go see it opening night, all friends. And we left the theater and we were buzzing. But I got home and, like once like the noise stops, you're not talking to your friends, you're just sitting quietly in your room. I was like, was it actually good?
Right.
I'm just like stoked to see Star Wars. And then I went to go see it again with my parents. And then we left the theater and they were excited. And I was like, is that the right response? Like, and then I went again with another friend, like he's like, we got to go just us because I'm feeling the same way. And then we walked out, we're like, the lightsabers are super cool.
Yeah.
Like episode 1, for all its flaws, really gave us that expanded world that felt real. Like it felt like there was history and we got Jedi lore that we had been wondering about. And I thought that the overly flashy lightsabers were cool because it was the Jedi in their prime using the Force to dip each other. And like all of that and things, and you realize like X-Wings haven't always been the ship. I didn't like the designs, but the idea that there was more was what made those cool.
I think at the very beginning, when in episode 1, when the blast doors are closing and they insert their lightsabers to melt the doors and cut their way open, I'm like, is this the first time we really thought of that? That's like the coolest thing ever. How come I didn't think of that?
Well, they just tools too. I totally agree. Like there's moments like that where for every Jar Jar there's a lightsaber stuck in a door.
Right. I'd be like, wow, that's so cool. Even the pod racing, I was totally into it. I'm like, all right.
Pod racing was. Did you play the game?
Yeah, dude, I love the game.
I was 10 when that came out, so for me, I was like, it's so fast.
Right. Oh man, when I was in line for episode 1, we went to like a 7:30 show, and one of the guys I was with, he had found out that Darth Maul and Qui-Gon both die, and someone was like, what if Darth Maul gets killed and we don't get him anymore? And then my buddy was like, what if I told you that Qui-Gon and Darth Maul both die? What do you think of that? And I'm like, what is that real? Yeah, in line it gets spoiled for me. I was like, oh, that sucks.
It's like Dumbledore dies.
Yes, I know.
Dude, I remember thinking that too when they killed Darth Maul. I was like, he had one line.
I know.
But why did they kill the coolest villain? Because I was like, oh, this is a little too on the nose. They made him a devil, and he's the bad
Yeah.
guy. That's kind of weak. But as soon as he ignites both blades, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I know,
You
that's
know?
so cool. Even when he hops off the speeder at the in on Tatooine, and he just has the one thing ignited, he was like terrifying. You're like, holy smokes!
Dude, like whatever. I don't even take my hood off for this fight.
Right.
That was sexy.
Man.
And I remember when, like, cause that movie came out when AOL was like the thing, right?
Oh,
And I remember getting online. The first website I ever visited when I got a computer and got internet was StarWars.com. And I remember like trolling the internet trying to find anything I could about episode 1. I was so excited. And they had like a lot of like wave sound files that had somehow leaked. I don't know how, like in those days of the internet, how did that even happen, right?
Right.
Like floppy drive days. And I remember I would download as many sound clips as I could, and I had the Darth Maul one. It was like, at last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have our revenge. And I was like, this guy's going to be the coolest thing ever. And that was literally his only line
Right.
in the movie. I was so disappointed, man.
Yeah, it was a buzzkill. I liked it when in their fight in the hangar, and he uses the Force to pick up a droid head, and then he pushes it to like the on and off door. Yeah, I was like,
That room.
yeah. I was like, oh man, this guy's a beast.
God, yeah, that scene. I mean, that's to me one of the most iconic shots in all of Star Wars.
Sure.
Is him like bringing out that saber and then lighting up the other side. Because I
Yeah.
remember in the theater when
In the
he did
trailer.
that,
Yeah, it was in the trailer too, and you're like, what? A double
and in
bladed
the theater,
lightsaber?
in that moment, you know, Duel of the Fates starts right there, and then he lights up that second side, and I just remember it's one of those things that's always going to be burned in my brain. Just like the whole audience going, "Oh," you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was the first time seeing a lightsaber variation on screen. We're seeing this bad guy about to go to town in this new age version of Star Wars. I mean, man, what a moment that was for sure.
No, totally. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right? Like you're with me. You went with me on that journey.
Yeah, I know. I'm always on that journey, man. Anytime I go see Star Wars, I think, you know, in Rogue One, that was another time where at the end when Vader's just mowing through everyone like Jason Voorhees. I know the whole theater was like, oh my god, this little bit of pee just came out. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's the best like analogy for that scene I've ever heard. He does become Jason Voorhees. He's oh my
Now,
god.
are you all caught up on Clone Wars?
No, not yet. And it's so funny. I've been thinking about it every day, but I just haven't had time to sink back into it. I'm dying. I have to like scroll past every Star Wars meme because I don't want
Yeah.
I'm like, I finished the original season, set, but I can't remember what season that ended on because they like released another season and then Disney Plus just released another season, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Season 7 is the last season.
Which one?
Season 7.
So 7 is the Disney Plus season.
Mhm.
Correct.
But there was another season before that
That
was released.
that was 6. It was like a lost episodes kind of thing, and then they kind of brought it all back.
On Disney Plus as well.
Everything is on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Okay. And I ended with season 5. Now I have to go to 6 and 7. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So when you probably stopped watching it, yeah, it was on 5, and then it was gone for a long time, and then it came back.
I was so sad when
yeah.
that ended too.
Yeah. There were a
And then
couple
that-
episodes in the beginning that was like, am I watching C-SPAN right now? What's all this like political talk? I'll just get to the lightsabers guy.
Well, that's
White
how
people.
yeah. George Lucas was like, I'm gonna give you a politics movie. And we were like, no, don't do that at all.
Yeah, tariffs. I'm like, what?
Trade Federation, like, no.
Yeah, just get
Many
to
words.
the.
It's
to the
important to
lightsabers.
know the economical reason for going to war with space wizards.
In
Right.
hindsight, thank you for fleshing out the universe. At the time, though, I was like, come on.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have that than what the new movies gave us, which was just like scatterbrain. You know what I mean? Like, pick one direction and go with it. At least commit. You know?
Right. It got a little crazy.
Got a little harebrained, yeah. I'm not mad at it. I'm glad we got more Star Wars.
Sure.
But it didn't feel focused ever. You know, all the directors and all the directions and all the subversive. So what is it? Subverting expectations.
Right.
That
Right.
was-
David Edmondson, who normally does these live streams, he likes to equate it to pizza. Like even bad pizza is still pizza. So like with
Right.
Star Wars, it's like, even bad Star Wars is still Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm still a little mad about Phasma, though. I bought all that merchandise. I was like, yo, she seems dope. Like, first off, she's got a black and red cape. That's like my color scheme, as you can tell from my background. So I was like, perfect. I bought the T-shirts, I bought the figures, and then she got punked twice. And I was like, but why though?
She's this generation's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But like nothing. Like she was cool, simply an image alone.
Yeah.
At least we got the Mandalorian, which is like watching how we imagine Boba Fett being. So that's pretty cool.
It's kind of cool. Are you all caught up on Mandalorian?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that was like night of watching.
Yeah.
Dude. That show was crazy. I gotta watch the making of that just got released though.
It was cool because Mandalorian sort of brought back the water cooler conversation, being a weekly show. When we came into work that next day, we're like, "Oh my god, did you watch Mandalorian?" And talking about it for like 10 minutes. That was always cool.
Jimmy, have you seen it? Get out of here! Get out of here! You got to go watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally.
And it was cool that it made like Star Wars like a Western again. You know,
Right.
it had like grittiness to it that we always kind of wanted to see.
Yeah,
And did you hear the Obi-Wan show instead of a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Hell yeah!
And
Especially
depending on the time period, we might see Darth Maul in there too. Because
God, I hope so, man.
I mean, they did have their final conversation on Tatooine, so that would be pretty interesting to
Oh
see.
my god! Oh, I can't wait.
I just picture him as like some sort of missionary going to like a sand people colony and trying to teach them fun things, and they're like, "Dude, get out of here!"
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Right. That'd be good stuff. Let's see here. On your Instagram page, you have some really incredible photos, and just want a quick shout out to it's to follow you on Instagram. It is Mr. Leo Zombie, correct?
Down there.
And there is this really fun one that I'm going to try and share right now, where you did sort of a choose your character, and it's with Rachel Martino, and you guys are doing Disney characters, and I think it is hysterical. Give me 1 second here.
That video has over 1 million views now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I couldn't stop laughing. So you won't hear the audio on this, but you get the visual cue. So
If you wanna put it in your brain, it's the character select music from Super Smash Brothers Melee.
there you go.
Yeah, we kind of scrounged together looks from whatever we had in our closet.
Yeah.
The character looked like quarantine. That was a really fun one for us to do.
And then the rawr.
It's so funny, like
fantastic.
90% of the comments are about that rawr, and I totally did that last second.
So it's great. And then like she's, when she's the Ariel, she's combing her hair with the dingle hopper.
Blank stares.
Yeah, just like drifting off.
Yeah, that was a fun little project to do with. We're always doing creative stuff together, but that one was one of those ideas that, she was like, we should do one of these character selects, and then we just narrowed it down. We're like, well, let's do Disney because we could do a bunch of different couples,
Right.
and and we even got interviewed by Good Morning America, which is like
Wow.
Oh wow.
made in our bedroom. It's so wild,
Yeah. No, that's great. There were some other fun ones on there that I saw. Patrick Bateman for American Psycho, where he's like, I have to return some videotapes.
Do you like Huey Lewis?
In the news.
Yeah, that was we wanted during Halloween, because obviously costumes are our jam. So during Halloween, we wanted to just do as many variations and looks as possible. And I knew that we were going to do Gomez and Morticia Addams. Like that was one I had been wanting since like I met her. And I hit up this company because I needed a suit jacket that would work because they're so like exotic looking.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, do you want anything else?" And I was like, "I'll take that blood one. I'll figure something out." And then I bought a kitchen knife. I was shooting Rachel she was recreating every single Taylor Swift album, like 1-to-1. Oh yeah, there it is. And then when she was done, I was like, "Hey, let me put my suit on and just take a photo of me." And it came out like so cool. Like it's one of my favorite photos that I've like ever taken, especially with Rachel.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh yeah, that turnstile one ended up being the Gomez one, but you could scroll up and actually see us. Right above Spider-Man. Yep.
This one? Yeah.
Yep. And then that was actually the jacket that I initially wanted. And that company, Opposutes, they're really cool. They got a lot of different wacky stuff. I just want to give them a shout out because they hooked it up. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then I saw a Freddie Mercury one at some point.
Oh yeah, it's a little. I think it's up. I think it's
Up?
It's
Oh.
yeah. That one was actually for the Mercury Foundation. which it does research for AIDS, I believe.
Oh,
There
nice.
it is, right there.
Now,
And yeah, so they asked me if I would promote it, and I was like, not only that, I'll dress as Freddie Mercury. I didn't know I was that like eerily similar.
no, that's great. Did you keep the mustache for more than a day, or did you shave it off as soon as you were done with the photo shoot?
Just for the mustache, and then I left it and I shot it, and that's in LA. And then that night I had to fly to New York to come to be with Rachel, and I didn't tell her that I left the mustache. So like I decided to travel, so I had just the mustache for like a little over 24 hours, and when I showed up, she was like, "You idiot!"
Oh, that's
Shave that.
rad.
And it was weird because I went to the airport, and for whatever reason, I ran into like 3 friends, and they're like, "Oh, going with a mustache now." I'm like, "No, this is a joke." It's like, why of all days?
No, that's great. No, that's cool. And then there was what is it? It's called like the Britney Zone, and
Oh my
that's
God,
how is
Britney.
that? Tell me about that. It's like
I didn't
recreating.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that was. And then Rachel's like, "We're gonna go to this thing," and I was like, "All right." And then we went there because she wanted to shoot like some Britney looks. Yeah, yeah. And you can even flip through it, and there's a few more images that kind of give you an idea of what it is. But essentially, it walks you through the entire career of Britney Spears, and they
Uh-huh.
had these huge sets that were like recreations of all of her music videos, all of her biggest videos. But like not just 3 or 4, it was like 10 different full sets. It was wild, and all of her outfits for the videos, and like history on the making of, and behind the scenes footage, and blah 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 blah. But because she was dressed up like that, and you can just kind of tell when people are shooting photos, you can tell when someone's taking like a touristy photo, and when someone's taking like an Instagram like
Right.
influencer style photo, and the cameras they use, and they picked up on that right away, and so they asked us. That was the first room, and they asked us if we wanted to have a little bit more free reign. So they let the tour go ahead without us, and
Oh,
then they
nice.
just let us have every room to ourselves. That's how we got all the shots empty like this.
Yeah, that's great.
Like super cool. That was really really nice of them.
That's
Toxic
great.
by far the best Britney
And now,
Spears song.
now you're head of the Britney Spears fan club in
Yeah,
New York, Manhattan chapter.
I didn't want to, I didn't want to take all the credit, but it's true. I am the number 1 Britney stan.
No, that's great. That was cool. And then you also have a lot of cosplay for different video games. Saw like Legend of Zelda in there, Cyberpunk. Really excited about that one.
Yeah, 'cause I'm also a designer. I'm a digital editor. Like I do photo compositing.
Mhm.
And we were in this quarantine, and I was like, "Hey, Rachel, would you just humor me and take this photo with me? And then I'm gonna edit it." But she didn't know. She had like no idea what I was gonna do to it. And then it turned into this full like cyberpunk scene, and I turned her into a robot with like seams in her body.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Dude, let's do we ended up doing like a whole bunch of them. Yeah, that's the one right there. So yeah, like I like to composite these full like little mini scenes that you can imagine that like being a moment in a movie or like the cover of a magazine or something like that. Like that's kind of the aesthetic.
Right.
I'm really inspired by like old Nintendo Power and Electronic Gaming Monthly kind of magazine covers.
Sure.
And Drew Struzan, the guy who does all the original Star Wars posters and Indiana Jones posters and stuff like that. That they're hand drawn, but they look like these like ethereal, dreamy paintings.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's crazy that posting all of these things actually got me hired by a couple of companies to create official artwork for some pretty. I can't like talk about it, but pretty big properties in the cyberpunk universe.
Wow,
that's great.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Wild. The internet, man.
Right. No, it's true, man. It's nuts. So what video games are you playing right now? Do you have like a ridiculous backlog that you're trying to plow through, or?
Yeah. So I mean, that's like the story of my life. I feel like having time to play games now is a little bit more difficult. But I was playing through God of War, the PS4 one, because I never actually got a chance to do that. And I didn't get to finish because Final Fantasy VII Remake came out.
Right.
Have you beaten it yet?
Dude, let me preface this by saying I am the biggest Final Fantasy VII fan. I've beaten the original 10 times, all the way through Ruby Weapon, Knights of the Round, like completion, like 100%. I know all the backstories, all the fanfics. I know all of the sub games down to the Nexon mobile game before Crisis about the Turks. Like I'm a fan. This game makes me smile on a nostalgic level, but with that attachment, the game's a little bit two-dimensional, and that's unfortunate to me. But I do think as a fan, it like fills in all the gaps, and it kind of is watching like a zoomed-in view of the original game because it's turning the first 30 minutes of the game into 30 hours, basically.
Right. I think that was their goal too, was just kind of zoom in, put a microscope on everything else, and
plus, with as long as we've waited for this,
I'll take it.
It's for us. It's for fans only.
I'm not even mad about it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Like I that's the thing is like I recognize its flaws, but I like it despite them. You know, a lot like the prequel trilogy. But I haven't finished it. I'm at the very, very last part. I just acquired Red 13, and then I just haven't had time to go back and play it.
Oh, dude, you're gonna love it, man. Like I'm already on the post game content. I'm playing through on hard mode. I think I'm like 50 hours in.
It's hard.
I'm not even close to being done.
Wait, they give you another mode after you beat it?
So after you beat the story mode the first time, hard mode unlocks. And then you can also do chapter select, and then certain things are only available on hard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm going through again. It's great, man. You're gonna love it.
I got that shit, man. And I also play Smash Brothers Ultimate, by the way.
Oh,
and I'll actually be playing that on Twitch later on. With
who do you main?
I main Adult Link because I like to suffer, but I have a couple other pocket secondaries. Like I play Mario. I like to dabble with the Belmonts, even though I know they've got their weaknesses.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm hardcore. Like I've been playing for a long time, and I follow it professionally. I play Cloud as well, a little bit of Roy, all the sorties basically. And I love Smash Brothers. I love it, and it's the one game I've never ever gotten tired of. And I like Ultimate. I think it's a fun, like the mechanics of it are fun. You know.
I'm probably the worst player in the world at it. Like I'm just Bowser, and I just jump up and try and land on people. That's my jam, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't care if I'm the first one out or if I miraculously win. I just mash buttons, and I am absolutely terrible.
But you don't want to admit it.
Right.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I actually have a Bowser tattoo, so I'm a Bowser fan.
I'm a Kirby player. That's a Kirby up there.
He's the hero. He's the hero of the game. He saves the world.
He's I mean, if you call an unlimited black hole consuming creature a hero, I mean,
you guys want to know something? I've never played the single player. I got Ultimate, and I got it specifically just for competitive. I've never.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. I like know kind of what it's about in the sticker system, but I've never even played the first level. I went straight to online, just started playing.
That's great.
Yeah, I've got like 1,000 hours on that game alone.
Nice.
You also do some anime cosplay. I saw some Dragon Ball, your Vegeta, some Pokemon, Cowboy Bebop. Are you currently watching any anime at the moment, or?
My Hero Academia, like everyone else and their mother.
Sure.
Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, God bless. I was trying to get through Hunter x Hunter, but then like I just keep going back to JoJo and My Hero. I don't know. I pick up odds and ends. I feel like it's kind of hard to commit to anime because there's just so much of it.
Right.
But yeah, like anytime it's up, I'm never going to say no to it. I love Dragon Ball, man. I was hooked on that weekly nonsense when Super was going on. Tournament of Power was like the most addicting. Dude, how hype was that ending? God, that was the best. And then like I love watching like the streams because South America is like nobody. Like Dragon Ball fandom. And like Mexico City, like in the time, like their version of Times Square, they were playing it on the giant jumbotron. And the entire city came out to watch it. And when you see like Goku and Frieza teaming up to fight Jiren, everybody just like it's like a whole city losing their mind. I was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that 17 would be the MVP of the tournament?
I completely forgot about him. Like I was like, I don't even care. They did such a good job of making you forget that he existed, and then he took back and MVPs it, and everybody just like lost their minds, dude. Did you guys see the movie, the new one?
Oh yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah, I got to go to the premiere with that for Funimation, and like being in a theater. First of all, being in the Chinese theater in Hollywood.
Wait a minute. In LA, dude, we were there too.
Yeah.
You were there too?
We were all in the same building.
Oh my god. That was like one of the hypest like feelings of being part of something, especially like something dorky that I've ever felt in my life, dude.
Right.
When what's his name? They're Vegito in that one, right? No, they're Gogeta. Which one are they? I can never remember.
They're Gogeta.
Gogeta, yeah. When Gogeta like surfs along the side of Broly's blast, dude.
Oh,
dude, there was no slicker battle animation.
Yeah.
Ever. That
But
was
the best part though is when Goku and Vegeta are practicing the fusion dance,
Yeah.
which means they left Frieza to catch those hands for an hour. Just over and
so tells you just how long he's getting his ass handed to him.
yeah.
Feels so good, dude. Frieza got Molly.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Oh, it's so fun to like connect over that, man. And people were jumping out of their seats. We were laughing. We were just like screaming. That was such a dope experience. I'm glad you guys were part of that because I feel like I'll never experience something like that for anime ever again. Like that was unique.
The next Dragon Ball movie.
Right.
When's the next series coming out, huh?
Oh well, if you read the manga, there's a new, even bigger, even badder guy now.
Oh,
there's always a bigger, badder guy.
Someone for Goku to measure up to, dude.
Yeah. You gotta have room for improvement, right?
Yeah, you gotta go Ultra Instinct and beyond.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best Dragon Ball villain of all time?
Ooh, I like Cell myself.
Cell's so perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect Cell.
You gotta go Frieza because he's still here.
He's still around.
He's still like he
a
finds his way
go-getter.
back.
Yeah.
He finds his way back, man.
I feel like it's tough. It's tough, man. I think those are the two that you have to decide.
No, totally.
There's other good ones, but those are the kings.
Right, because like Boo's a good guy now, so
Yeah, Oob.
yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned
always become good. Anyways, continue.
we're just about done. But you had mentioned voice acting in your bio. Is there an IP, either in movies, TV, or video games, that you would just absolutely freak out if you landed a voice acting role?
Oh, my dude. Oh man, that is a good. I mean, how do you even pick just one?
I mean, you can give me 50 if you like.
I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool to be part of like. I feel like I don't even want to be a Dragon Ball voice actor. I feel like those guys already became legendary, and it's just you just be in their shadow. It'd be cool to be in like a Disney movie. That'd be really neat. It would be cool to be in some AAA video game title that I love, like, you know, not like Legend of Zelda because that kind of has its own tone and everything like that. But like to be part of something like, what's a good example? Like a God of War, for example, or like.
I mean, there's still plenty of Final Fantasy VII left.
Well,
There's like 8 more installments. So.
I wasn't the hugest fan of the voice acting in Final Fantasy VII, but I gotta say, like, when it hit well, and the Cloud voice actor just blew it away. Like he crushed it. Like, you can argue all the voice acting you want, but there is no doubt that Cloud just crushed. He nailed it. So being something like that, like getting a role like that, would be super duper 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 cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Or Star Wars, like being a character in a Star Wars animated series would be so sick.
Oh, heck yeah, man. That'd be awesome. Well, cool. That pretty much just wraps it up for us. Why don't you tell folks where they can find you?
Sure. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Leo Zombie, and that's like my primary place. So if anywhere, do that. And I'm on Twitter too at Leo Zombie. No, Mister. We're casual. But yeah, no. Thank you guys for having me. This was super fun. Anytime you want to out, I'm your boy. I got you.
I love it. Well, thank you very much. Remember, folks, that we still have our Star Wars sale going on right now. It goes through Sunday. Be sure to check out bluefinbrands.com for all these amazing deals on bundles, figures, hobby kits, you name it, we got it. All right, have a good day, guys.
Sexy, so get them.
Take care, guys.